Yeah, I put my dad in the street against a heavyweight.
I've gone back to the dad. I've punched him a few more
There's
times.
5 blokes outside my front door. Can you come and help
One
me?
hell of a fucking story, so stay tuned.
This is Colm McGuigan for AFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I'm joined today by Michael Conlan. Mick, how's things?
All good, mate. All good. Just on holiday with the family, relaxing.
Yeah, how's the time been since your fight? Just relaxing, couple of holidays, chill out.
I'm just chilling out. You know, one away with the mates and stuff, and then away with the family. So it's been nice.
Obviously we'll get straight to it. Last night, massive fight. I'm sure you watched it over there. Where you are, AJ Usyk. How was it?
I thought it was a great fight. I think Joshua was much better than what he was the first fight. Much more compact, looked much more solid and stuff, and much more kind of confident. But he's up against a boxing master, man, and Usyk. And you know, I retweeted some of my tweets from like back in 2018 where I was calling Usyk would beat him easy when he was still a cruiserweight, and I stuck with my kind of thought on that process. And the other day I said good points. Last night I thought, you know, I kind of fell into the hype of everybody saying he was going to knock him out, but so I fell for it. I got caught up in the whole hype of the whole show. But what a fighter Usyk is, and you know, I think credit to Anthony Joshua for having that fight as an immediate rematch. He could have easily went a different route, kind of rebuild himself. But he jumped back into the deep end, and you've seen how frustrated and stuff he was after with his reaction. So yeah, I thought it was a fantastic fight, on all accounts, and really really good watch.
What could AJ have done differently in order to beat Usyk last night?
I just don't think he can beat him. I saying that he's a big man. If he had have just steamrolled him and put everything into the first 4 rounds and just tried to take him out that way, you know, that kind of pressure was Derek Chisora brought on him when he fought Usyk. If Joshua was able to bring that with the power he carries, and land some clean, he probably could have done some damage. But to be honest, I don't think he could. I just think Usyk is unbelievable.
You're in the unique position that you kind of had the same trajectory as Anthony Joshua in terms of that pressure, the Olympian status, that type of thing. Do you think that kind of comes down to it as well in this fight? And obviously his mindset, and you've seen that kind of difference with AJ at the end of the fight last night?
To be honest, I think you know, the whole of the boxing in Ireland and the UK, gotta be thankful for someone like AJ, and yeah, listen, he carries an awful lot of pressure on his shoulders every time he steps into the ring, much more than I ever have. It's unbelievable, and what he has done for sport here, what for fighters at home, as I said, in Ireland and the UK, the fact that people are getting paid how they're getting paid, I think, is all down to AJ. He is, you know, a credit to the sport. He brought eyes which weren't on the sport to the sport, and you know, I think that he's changed the kind of how Irish and British boxing's kind of money trajectory went since, you know, 2013, 2012, 2013, whenever he started, like debut was, right up until now. I think the money, if you look how people were getting paid back then and how hard they're getting paid now, it's crazy the difference. So definitely, I think he deserves an awful lot of credit and an awful lot of respect, and it baffles me how people turn on him. Like, people could say, you know, you're turning on him myself, but I was always an Usyk fan. I always picked Usyk, so it's not necessarily the case. But people who are just fans and friends turned against him, yeah, I think it's a bit, you know, shocking.
What would you say in terms of, there's people out there that'll say AJ should retire now, and there's other people that think that, you know, his stock is rose after last night. What's your opinion on that?
I definitely don't think he should retire. I think he's still young. I think he's still have plenty to give. Because he's not heavyweight champion doesn't mean he should retire, because he lost his belt. He's lost twice to, you know, probably pound for pound number one at the minute in Usyk. Does that mean he should retire? I think you should look at different ways of rerouting. I think it was Sam Jones tweeted today, like a list of fights which he could potentially have, and you see some great fights on there. I like the thought of Joe Joyce in Africa, doing something like that. Dude, that's like that Muhammad Ali type kind of stuff where he's going to like the likes of Africa, the Rumble in the Jungle, things they got there, Thriller, Manila. He's going to these different places around the world and putting on massive events, and everybody's coming. And I think that would be the same. I think that's actually a great way to look at it and a great way to do it. So, I would love to see him. Whether it's Joe Joyce, Martin McCauley, or any of the other guys who Sam had mentioned in different parts of the world. I like to see him do something like that. Take himself on a bit of a world tour, rebuild, reset himself. But as I said, even the fighters I mentioned, they're not givens. I train with Joe. I know Joe well, and that man is a nightmare for any man in front of him. So yeah, it's a good one. I think whatever he does next, he has a lot of options. There's big fights to be made. Whether he wants to come back to the UK and do a big fight there in December, there'll be no problem with that. I don't think anybody complain.
Usyk Fury looks as if there's a good chance that it might happen. Who would you fancy if that does happen? Obviously, it's a boxing masterclass for the fans.
I am an ultra Usyk fan, even more than I am a Tyson Fury fan. But it's very, very hard to look past a man who's 6'9", can move like he's a featherweight, and has fast hands, speed, and power, everything, and an unbreakable type of confidence. I think Fury wins that fight. As much as I would hope for Usyk to win, because I'm an Usyk fan. I think Fury wins.
Well, Mike, obviously, just before I let you go, we need to touch on it. What's next for Michael Conlan?
December time. I'll be back. I'll be back out December time. So there's no fucking around me. I'm straight back to work. I think it's 2 weeks. I think yesterday since the fight, or today, whatever it is, since the fight. So yesterday 2 weeks since the fight exactly. So I'm back training over here already. I'm doing my runs and stuff. Took a good few days off. I'm back training, and I'll be back ready for December.
Mick, thanks a million for your time on holiday. Really, really appreciate it, mate. I'll speak to you again soon.
Good man. Cheers, Colm.
Yeah, I put my dad in the street against a heavyweight.
I've gone back to the dad. I've punched him a few more
There's 5
times.
blokes outside my front door. Can you come and help
One
me?
hell of a fucking story, so stay tuned.
Welcome, Team Everlast, to the Team Everlast Fitness app. Download the Everlast Fitness app and find your greatness within.